Alright, guys, today we're going to be reacting to huge demonstrations across Germany against the far right. I think it's a 1.4 million people went out to protest against the far right or any political movement that has something to do with the far right in Germany, whatever that means, right? I'm not a German expert when it comes down to politics, so I don't know. You guys have to help me out on this one. We're just going to jump in to see what's going on here. Let's see.
Organizers say more than 1.4 million people have taken part in demonstrations right across Germany over the weekend. In Munich, the rally had to be cut short because of overcrowding. The protests were announced at more than 100 locations nationwide. Here in Berlin, thousands of people demonstrated outside the parliament.
What is the AFD? AFD is like a very whatever far right political party is.
The outrage follows reports that members of the Alternative for Germany party had a meeting with far-right extremists to discuss plans for mass deportation of migrants and citizens with foreign roots.
Damn.
Our political correspondent...
Damn, things are getting spicy, man. Oh, something's going on in the world, folks. I don't know.
And Thomas Sparrow was at the demonstration in Berlin, and he joins us now for more. Good to see you, Thomas. So give us a sense of what the protest in the German capital was like. So who were the people who came out today, and what was their overarching message?
Well, the organizers presented the protest today here in Berlin as an alliance of different organizations, mainly civil society organizations. But what was evident today in the streets here in Berlin, in the center of Berlin, was that it was more than just civil society organizations. You could see older people coming to the protest as well, families with young children holding different messages and banners. And what I think unites all of these people who attended this protest not far away from where we're standing now is their rejection of the far-right party AfD, in particular after those revelations that you mentioned, that secret meeting.
So it's a very well-known party. How popular it is? Is it popular enough to just create this kind of protest, or it's just like a 2% party and let's just mobilize kind of thing? I would like to know.
That was attended by members of the AfD with extremists to present that master plan for mass deportations here in Germany if the AfD actually comes to power. So this is certainly what united them all. Here, the big question, Mariana, is what impact this will have in the short term, but also in the medium to long term as well.
Well, and Thomas, as we also mentioned, it wasn't only in Berlin. There were an estimated 1.4 million people that turned out to protest all over Germany in different cities throughout the weekend. And it really seems like it's as if something has hit a nerve. Why do you think it is in this?
That's crazy, right? Like that. She said it, though, not me. Something hit a nerve. That's interesting, right? That she said that. What kind of nerve? Probably fear of their own past, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing things here. I have no idea, because I'm not a person well versed in German politics. So you guys have to just fill me out with some of the holes that are presented here, because clearly I'm not hearing the entire story here.
This moment, something that people care about so deeply.
It absolutely hit a nerve here in Germany. You can see that by the fact that you had so many protests, and not only in big cities like Berlin or Hamburg or Cologne, but also in smaller cities across the country. It has to do, obviously, with the fact that Germany has this very difficult, this troubling and problematic past, and a meeting of far-right extremists that are planning a master plan to deport millions of foreigners actually brought back memories of that very dark past. It's actually very problematic to think that the meeting in November took part only a few kilometers away from where the Nazis in 1942 planned their final solution.
Okay,
and that is something that is for me.
Okay, I see what's going on here. It go back to those days, man. Wow, man, this is gonna be, I don't know, man. I don't know. This goes deeper. Let's go deeper.
Many here
So how is it that,
outrageous, something that cannot happen again, something that cannot be repeated. So that's, I think, the main reason why these protests hit a nerve here in Germany. But it also has to do with the fact that the AfD is actually second in nationwide polls here in the country with around
Wow,
22%,
really?
and is actually leading in polls.
hold up. How many percentage?
Actually second in nationwide polls here in the country with around 22%, and is actually
Really, 22%. But I'm guessing that's a lot in Germany, right? 22%. Wow. And it has been always like that, or in the recent years has increased? That's a good question. Because if in the last couple of years has increased, that means that there's a pattern. That's a real concern.
leading in polls in the eastern part of the country, where regional elections will be held later in the year.
And Thomas, you mentioned it yourself. The big question, of course, is whether these protests are going to have an impact on how people actually end up voting. What's your take? Do you think this kind of mass movement of people is likely to turn at least some away from the AfD, or could it have the opposite
I don't
effect?
think so. No, I don't think so. It's not strong enough. It's not strong enough. I didn't feel the strength of the. It looks like a lot of people, but there was no follow through. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to stop something. You have to. Maybe Germany does it differently, but you have to do something. Like, I don't think these kind of people that they're talking about are gonna be like, oh, I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Experts are saying, Mariana, that it probably won't change the minds of
That's what I said. That's what I said. Because you get the feel of it.
those who have voted for the AfD for a long time now. So voters that would not necessarily think that these allegations or these revelations could change.
So you guys can ban political parties, right? So calls grow to ban alternative for Germany party. What do you guys think about this? Is that okay? Let me know.
Thing. But where experts think that there could be a change is in people who are undecided. So undecided voters who probably are now thinking that they can go to the polls, even if it is to vote against the AfD. So this is where experts actually do see a possibility for change. It will be interesting, however, to see whether these protests continue in the next few weeks, in the next few months. The elections in the regions in the eastern part of the country are actually in September, so there's still quite some time to go. It'll be interesting to see how this movement here in Berlin and in other parts of the country will continue in the near future.
Thank you very much for that, Thomas. That was DW political correspondent Thomas Sparrow for us in Berlin.
I mean, he has some points. I mean, they have some points. The thing is that when it comes down to this kind of political movement, I don't think the best option is to ban it because they do become stronger. You have to really defeat them in ideas. If you don't have your ideas just tighten up, they're not going to work for you. So don't ban them. You think an open platform and just destroy them with your ideas. That's how it should, right? But because if you keep banning these things of parties and stuff like that, they become worse, right? It's like they become like way worse because now you are oppressing a movement, and you know what happened when you start oppressing? It's like putting a lot of pressure inside a box or a bottle. It will explode. It's the same thing. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would like to hear your opinion regarding this and whether you guys agree with the TV station. That'll be interesting to know. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and if you guys went to the protest, that'll be interesting too. I'll see you in the next one.